uncovered a second option for people to get money, but not people, business owners, not big business. Because I know when I say business, you're thinking, oh, it's a big business. PPP, I had to have employees. There was all these like little caveats of things you needed to have to qualify for all these different loans and these grants and these different programs the government did out of the $5.2 trillion. And now this program actually helps I'm going to call them the entrepreneur, because really just the small entrepreneur up to the big entrepreneur. Josh, can you talk a little bit about the new problem that you found and the solution to how you can help businesses?
Yeah. I mean, when we started ERC was W-2 employee related. And then the business owner that had maybe 20 employees, W-2 employees, was the one who was able to take advantage of this, of the ERC program. And then a few months ago,
ERC is done now, right? ERC is done. Yeah, it's done. So folks, like if you got in on ERC, great. If you didn't, well, too bad.
Yep. Yeah. So that opportunity is for W-2 employees, but it was for the business owners of the W-2 employees. And I was a sole proprietor, 1099, self-employed person until I had employees, about 4 years ago when we started the wheel business, so I know exactly how a lot of the, self-employed people think. And I had a lot of friends that would reach out to me like, hey, can I take advantage of this ERC program? Sorry, man. It's only for people that have W-2 employees. And they're like, man, they should come out with a program like that. Guess what? They did. And it's not a long runway. ERC was a lot longer runway. And so basically, people could get up to $32,200 per individual. So if there's a husband and wife, and depending on how they do their taxes, they typically can get up to $64,400, and because at first I was like, wait, I got 10 LLCs, or more. I'm going to take advantage of all this. No, it comes down back to the individual of all the different LLCs that person has. And so that's the way they've set it up. And so we want to make it automated because we saw people doing this as far as competitors 3 or 4 or 5 months ago. But we want it more automated because we knew we were going to help a lot of businesses instead of hundreds. We're going to help thousands, if not hundreds of thousands. And so we wanted to build it to make it so it's very seamless, very a good experience for that business owner of going through that process. And so we launched it. It's been about 2 months now, and we're obviously getting great reviews. But we got another about 18 months left on this runway.
Well, this podcast will certainly launch in time. So all of you listeners, how many of you own businesses and you have no employees, but you were affected during the pandemic and you couldn't really take advantage of almost all of the different programs, but you're thinking, man, I really got the short end of that stick, huh? Yeah, a lot of you, right? But now you get this one. You can get up to what did you say, $32,000?
$32,200, and that's only for the next couple of weeks, actually. And then it's going to go down every quarter thereafter. So there's definitely taking action, and getting this done as soon as possible, because it's going to continue to go down to about $8,000 every quarter till it's out.
Wow. So it's a declining scale, folks. The government doesn't want to give too much more away, so it's going to start at $32,200, but decline as it goes. So you got to get on this, folks. If you've got a business, you were affected during. Well, actually, let's define affected, because that's kind of a loose word. So, Josh, what would it take to qualify for this program?
Yeah, so there's a couple things. Number one, I always tell people, do not pre-qualify yourself. Make sure you go on there. Because sometimes I get a lot of questions. I'm like, hey, just go on there, because you don't want to pre-qualify yourself, but you'll find out that maybe you didn't qualify for 1 year, but you qualified for another year.
Yeah, and Josh, let me pause you real quick, folks. Go on there. You're probably thinking, go on where? I'm going to put the link in the description. So we'll have a link in there. You can click it. Like you said, he automated it. You just click the link and you walk through, and it will tell you whether you're eligible or not. But sorry, I didn't mean to steal your thunder there.
No, I'm glad you said that. But yeah, so when someone goes on, they're going to come up with a questionnaire. The questionnaire only takes 15 to 30 minutes. And there's basically 3 main questions, and there are 4. Does it this or this or this? So the first one is did you have COVID, and what quarters did you have COVID that affected you in business? So you can't work for 2 days, 3 days, 2 weeks, whatever it is. But then there will be a calendar. So technically you have to attest, because depending on, I'm sure 50-50 on the listener side. Some people, went to the doctor and took the COVID test and was official that they went in there and got that. Some others, like myself, I didn't go to the doctor. but I knew I pretty much had COVID. I think I had a self-done test. So I had the test. Like I got it in December 21. I got it early in 21, then January 21. So I had to attest to that on which days that basically I remember kind of having. And then, or let's say you didn't have COVID, but maybe someone you conducted business with had COVID. And so you have to kind of put when those dates were, or if you had a kid that stayed home and had remote learning, from home, like Zoom learning, like a lot of.
So every single parent is what you're saying. If you were a parent during the pandemic, your kids were home from school.
Yeah, I know you're from New York. I think Buffalo or something, but
yes,
New York, Hawaii, California, they were shut down even their schools even longer than like someone in Utah, right? So people in those states, they'll definitely be able to kind of attest to a lot longer than other people. So those are the main three things. But again, like I would still go on there, make sure you answer some questions. Go through your personal situation, like pull up your taxes, look at like, let's say line 14, match it up here to matching up to the questionnaire. And then you wait to the very end. They'll say, okay, based on what you put in there, you're approved for up to $28,000. Then it takes about 2-3 days. We then come back and say, actually, based on all the numbers that we have, you're officially approved for $25,412.13. Do you want us to file? At that time, you pay up front. You pay $2,000 fee. It's not a percentage of whatever you get. It's a fee, $2,000. And then it takes 6 to 18 weeks, sometimes 20 weeks to receive that money. And that's pretty much the logistics of it.
Wow. So that's pretty simple, folks. I mean, you'll know what you're going to get before you pay any fee. And that's the best part. You're not paying a fee in a hopes of getting money. You're paying a fee when you know what you're going to get. So you could just run the math and just say it makes sense. Because I mean, if you're going to pay $2,000, but you're only eligible for $1,500, clearly, don't do it. It doesn't make mathematical sense. But the other thing too is when folks are hearing this, and anytime, I know most people are pretty leery of the government giving anything away for free because they're like, wait. There ain't nothing the government gives you for free that's actually free. So is there like a repayment? Is this like the PPP loan or the EDIL loans that we got to pay that back over 30 years? What's the catch on this?
So I think to have everyone help them understand, there's basically 3 programs before this. I mean, there's probably multiple programs, but the main ones were PPP. That was a loan that was forgiven later, right? EIDL is a loan. That's a 30-year, and I didn't get one, but 30-year with a low interest for an amount of time. And then ERC was not a loan, and it was fully forgiven the day you receive it. This is that. So the day you receive it, fully forgiven, you can use it for whatever you want in your business.
So the government is not going to tell us what to use the money for. We never have to pay it back. So we literally could just get it in our company and just go buy a company vehicle, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, right. It's basically made for, helping you out in your business somehow. So,
wow. So, folks, look, if you're hearing the same thing I heard when he told me about this, it's kind of a no-brainer, right? If you're a self-employed individual and, you heard those knockouts or the things that qualify you, which is, I'm sorry, but pretty much all of you, like either you had COVID, you knew somebody that you did business that had COVID, or one of your kids was home from school. But go to that link in the description and check it out. And just go through the process, 15 to 20 minutes to get up to $32,000. I'm sorry, that's pretty freaking good money per hour. I'm doing the math in my head, might be off a little. Maybe some of you are making more than that per hour. Good for you, but it's still worth your time.